That must mean it's time for our Ask the Doc segment with Dr. Stone from Canyon Country Veterinary Hospital, located on Soledad Canyon, next to the Regal Cinemas, and that is 9 to 7 is when you're open,
Yes.
the hours, Monday through Saturday or Sunday? Okay.
Monday through Saturday.
But there's good news. Let's say your dog gets sick after 7 o'clock on a Wednesday night, or is all day Sunday. They can take them to All Creatures Veterinary Center, which is located on Lyons Avenue, which is a 24/7 operation, just in case. So that's a really awesome thing. You guys give us so many choices. That's amazing. And the stuff you guys do, I mean, talk with Dr. Sandhu. I mean, it's been like a year since we've started having you guys come in. And Dr. Sandhu last year, that was right after he had done those stem cell, I guess they're called therapy more than anything else. It's not surgery for the dogs who are with the inflammation and also the arthritis. And so pretty amazing what you guys do. And there are things, though, that people should consider, especially when they encounter animals that are not their pets, right? Such as wild birds or wild animals who may be injured. Now, these are, first of all, just from an approaching standpoint, what should people consider, especially if it's like what they think is a baby bird or a fledgling, just kind of on the ground and just kind of sitting there relaxing is what it looks like. But people think that they are either lost or something. What happens with that?
Yeah, a lot of times people will bring in little baby birds and, they say, oh, I found this next to the tree. What some people don't realize is baby birds, when they're ready to come out of their nest, they, kind of hop out of their nest and then they stay on the ground for a good 2 days, and the mother bird still takes care of them. We call those fledglings, and usually they have their full feather coat, but they're still little. Those you should actually kind of just stand back, maybe keep an eye out, because you'll probably see there's a mother bird around. Unless, of course, if they're in an area where it's dangerous, if there's cats or dogs that are going to get to them, if they're in the street, of course, then, of course, you should pick them up. Tiny little baby birds who don't have all their feathering, then those, sometimes you could even look out for the nest, try to put them back in the nest. The mother bird will still take care of it, even if you touched it. But if you can't do that, then, of course, there's a lot of wildlife centers that you can take them to where people will take care of them.
Right, and that's important too, because that's the big myth that once you touch a baby bird, the mother will just ignore it.
Exactly.
And that's definitely not true, right?
No, that's not true.
Well, that's good to know. So, and that's true also even in encountering any type of wildlife, whether especially things like coyotes and things that you should probably not approach anyway, right? And just let nature take its course. Or what do we think that?
It depends. If there is a wild animal and it is injured or in danger, and you can safely pick it up and help it, then, definitely that's ideal. There's the Wildlife Way Station, California Wildlife Center, and Clarita Wildlife Center, who will take in wild animals, and they will, fix them, rehabilitate them, and then release them back into the wild once they're feeling better.
And that's really important. And we talk about exotic pets, like someone who, like Dr. Merriweather, takes care of at the All Creatures Veterinary Center. That does not mean you see Ben the bear on the side of the road and bring him in because he's got something in his paw or anything like that, right? So those are the things we want to make clear, because I do see those questions, especially now that it's springtime and with wild birds and stuff like that. What do I do? We brought this bird inside and it smacked into our window and it seems all hurt. Now, is it a situation where they can kind of give you a call at least to say, hey, this is what's happened? And
oh, of course. Yeah, people call all the time and, just to kind of ask us, what should we do? And, honestly, sometimes I will take the baby birds and I take care of them, and then I take them to the wildlife center so they can, rehabilitate them and release them. But, of course, anyone can always call us just for advice.
Well, you have a true heart of gold there as a veterinarian. There should be like the TV show about you, the doctor that takes in all the stray animals. But I want to talk now, and going on to from stray wildlife to stray dogs and cats, and the importance of making sure that they're chipped, right?
Right.
And so if we find, like we found a stray dog about a month ago, just walking along the Paseo. We're in Valencia,
Okay.
and didn't have a collar on. Didn't even we took her to All Creatures, and turns out that she didn't have a chip. Now this was a King Charles Spaniel, so those are not cheap dogs.
Yeah. So.
And it's not all about the money, but really, if you're going to invest in a dog like that, I mean, and she was sweet, you know, and fortunately, we put some signs up, and it was a neighbor just a few streets over. She had gotten out, and they didn't even realize. And fortunately, problem solved. But this is a real situation where if you don't have your pets chipped and they're gone, I mean, they could be anywhere. I mean, the first thing you should probably is check the animal shelter, but a lot of people just like to make the pets their own, right?
Oh, yeah. We have so many people come in every day with animals that they found, and they want us to check for a microchip. And, you know, the ones that don't have a microchip, it's unfortunate because if the people want to keep them, they sometimes do. You know, we always recommend take them to the shelter because that's the first place people look. But, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean they will.
Right.
The ones with microchips, we've found, you know, we hold on to them if they have a microchip and we contact the owners. And we found a lot of owners. However, sometimes the dog will be microchipped, but the owner didn't update the information. So then, you know, we're trying to call and it's the wrong phone number. They've moved and then we can't find them. So that's really unfortunate. Too.
Yeah, that's what making sure. Now, if you do it at the animal shelter, I don't know if you know this question or not. Is it something that when you renew your license, do they automatically update those, or do you know if you have to go in? So you have to manually go in and say, hey, we got to change our address and things like that. And that's really, really, really important too.
And a lot of people don't know that. So yeah, you definitely have to update your microchip information. Otherwise, they're not going to know.
And you guys offer microchipping as well, right?
Yes, we do.
So, and I think I've had the conversation before that it is actually one of those that it's a microchip that works with almost any platform and any format and things like that. So if you take to another vet, if you're out of state, or if you take it to the animal shelter, that they'll be able to scan it and actually read it, and there's no problems there, right?
Yes,
Perfect.
yeah.
So keep that in mind. Microchip your pets, because that really, in the case, because like when our dogs are at home, we don't put our collars on them, and a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Because they're not going anywhere. The house is secure, and they're a lot more comfortable without them on. Plus, they don't jingle them all over the place when they're in the middle of the night when they decide to get up and scratch themselves. And so, but that's really important if they by chance get out or get away, that's one of the only ways that people can find that. It's really important. And make sure, too, that do the right thing. If you find a pet, the first thing you do is find out if it's microchipped. And All Creatures open all the time. You can check that out any time of the day or night. And if you're in the Canyon Country side of things, you can just bring them down to Canyon Country Veterinary Hospital and find out. And that is located on Soledad Canyon next to Regal Cinema. So that's really good. So we covered stray wild animals, we covered stray, and cats, of course, too. They can be microchipped.
Oh yeah, okay. Definitely.
So I just want to make sure, but not birds or snakes or anything like that. You're kind of on your own with them. So,
yeah.
Just to be clear, you never know when someone might ask that question. Believe me. Dr. Stone, always a pleasure to have you on, and with your insight, again, from Canyon Country Veterinary Hospital on Soledad next to Regal Cinemas. And for after-hours care, you could take your pets to All Creatures Veterinary Center located on, and actually all-day care if you're on the other side of town, like if you live in the Valencia area, New Hall, that's on Lyons, and in the Victorian buildings there, right near Old Town New Hall. So thanks a lot once again. Really appreciate your insight.
Thank you.
Time is